And now for the conclusion of the Mark of the Cyclops.
Chapter 23. The Wedding Feast. It was light by the time Amos unlocked the front door to let us in. Thrax's suspicions about him had been right. It must have been Amos trying to eavesdrop on our secret conversations. But we were on the same side now, the side of freedom and justice. Mistress Pandora and her bridesmaids had already left the house and gone to the temple of Aphrodite. They returned not much later than us. Mistress Pandora carrying a new Lotrophoros from Athens. She had filled it with water from the sacred spring and would use it for her bridal bath. The women filed upstairs, and soon we could hear the sound of chanting and the splash of water. The slaves set up 2 tables in the yard, decorating them with colored tablecloths and flowers. It was late afternoon by the time Mistress Pandora was ready for her wedding feast. By now all the guests had arrived, fanning themselves to keep cool. Even though Amos had set up the awning, the heat was stifling. Thrax and I sat on either side of Master Ariston as he plucked at his lyre and performed his songs. They were sung only in honor of the bride and her family. The groom would not be at this celebration, which was the last meal the bride would have in her father's house. He would come and fetch her later in the wedding cart to take her to her new home. At last there was a loud cheer in the women's quarters, and Mistress Fatini appeared at the top of the stairs wearing a blue flowing robe. "Please be upstanding for the bride." Mistress Pandora appeared behind her and came regally down the stairs in a white veil, holding a bunch of wild narcissi. Her mother, relatives, and slaves followed, scattering rice and flower petals in her path. To my surprise, Gaia was with them. Fatini must have fetched her from the temple, hoping her father would not dare carry out his foul threat on his daughter's wedding day. I felt sorry for the girl. She looked ill at ease and kept throwing sidelong glances at Master Xenon while holding tightly to Mistress Fatini's hand. "It's a pity that we have unmasked the thief, but we cannot save Gaia," I said to Thrax behind Master Ariston's back. "The gods work in mysterious ways," he replied, giving me a cheeky wink. I wanted to ask what that comment meant, but just then the bride took her seat, and Master Ariston launched into another song. The wedding celebration had begun. Amos, dressed for the occasion in lavish Egyptian clothes, approached the men's table. He was holding a cantharos with 2 enormous handles. "Master, I have served you for many years, and I thank the gods of my country, Horus and Isis, for sending me to such a kind master. Please accept this token of my gratitude on such a joyous day." He placed the drinking cup in front of Master Xenon, whose face lit up with delight. "Thank you, Amos. I too am blessed to have you in my life. You have been a loyal slave for many years. You have provided me with a serene home and protected my family while I traveled abroad. In honor of this great day, I release you from bondage. You are from this moment on a free man, although I hope you will stay on in my house as a paid chief of staff." A gasp went round the yard as people realized the importance of the occasion. "Thank you, Master," said Amos. "May the gods grant us both a long life, and may Hecate give you as many grandchildren as there are seeds in a fig." He nodded a slave, who came forward with an amphora and filled Master Xenon's new drinking cup. I propose a toast to Master Xenon. Everyone in the yard held up their drinking cup, including the children. "To Master Xenon." Master Xenon raised his cup, but his smile turned into a puzzled frown as a shadow fell across the yard. There was a loud, angry roar, and something came hurtling down from the roof, taking the awning with it. The guests panicked, and there was confusion as the slaves tried to free them from under layers of flapping cloth. Then Gaia let out a piercing scream. "It's the Cyclops!" And there, standing in the remnants of the awning, was Beck, his one good eye fixed on Master Xenon's new drinking cup. He leaped at it and deftly plucked it out of his hands. A moment later he had run up the stairs to the women's quarters, blood-red wine spilling onto the stairs. Amos chased him into the gynaeceon, and we heard the sound of a scuffle before he returned with the empty cup, holding it high above his head like a trophy. "I'm sorry the thief managed to escape, sir," he said to Master Xenon over the cheering of the guests. "But blessed be the gods I managed to rescue the cup." Master Xenon gawked at him like a landed fish. Then he turned to Gaia. I apologize profusely for calling you a liar, little one, he grunted. Forget the threats of a foolish man. There really is such thing as a Cyclops.
Chapter 24, The Medusa League.
That was quite an impressive drama you thought up, laughed Mistress Fotini when Thrax and I went to see her later. I must congratulate Amos on his acting skills, too. It was very convincing. The wedding was over. Mistress Pandora had gone to live in her husband's house, taking her personal slave and a good dowry with her. Thrax and I were about to return to Athens. We had already said goodbye to Amos, Euripides, and our new friend Beck. Now it was time to say goodbye to Mistress Fotini and Gaia, too. Mistress Fotini smiled happily. Thank you for saving Gaia. She nodded at her slave, who opened a chest to draw out a purse. I thank you, too, Gaia said shyly. I'm glad you believed me when I said that a Cyclops had smashed the wedding vase. Thrax took the purse, squeezing it under his belt without checking how much money was in it. I shall share it with Nico, he said. I couldn't have solved the mystery without him. I will not accept any money, I protested. I already earn a good wage, and you need it for a more important cause. Remember? It was fun helping you solve the mystery, said Mistress Fotini. If you're ever in Corinth again, please come and visit. Who knows, we might get involved in another adventure. Nico and I have been discussing our future, said Thrax. We are determined to solve mysteries wherever we find them. But as we discovered the other night when we were captured, we cannot do it alone. We need friends to help us, secret accomplices who will come to our rescue or supply us with much-needed information. We want you and Gaia to be the first members of our team. How exciting, said Mistress Fotini. A secret society of crime fighters that one day will stretch from one end of the Hellenic world to the other, all dedicated to the cause of bringing justice to those who have been wronged. We're calling it the Medusa League, I said. Mistress Fotini's eyes flashed. The Medusa is my favorite mythical creature. She can be cruel if you oppose her, but if you choose to respect her, she will protect you. A Medusa painted above the front door is one of the only things Thrax remembers about his home. Yes, my father hung it there for protection, said Thrax. He held out the other two charms I had bought from the girl in the Potter's District. This will be our official amulet. Mistress Fotini and Gaia slipped them over their necks. To the Medusa League! May justice win every time! Thrax and I said a final goodbye, then squeezed into the secret passage. The door closed gently behind us. It was blisteringly hot on the road to Cincre, and Master Ariston, seated on Ariana, kept asking for water. Ahead of us, a long line of travelers moved at a snail's pace. We could hear the sailors singing again. Mothers wait, although it's late, for their sons returning. One more stop, one more battle, one more journey, and we're home, and we're home. I walked in silence, my head full of thoughts and ideas. So much had happened in the last few days. Thrax had solved his first mystery, and I had found a new purpose in life. I was going to be a writer, a proper one, and not just a scribe who copied down other people's work. My dear friend seemed deep in thought, too. He was weighed down with Master Ariston's luggage, and he also had a small bird cage under one arm. Amos had given him 2 of his homing doves as a present. They were to be the Medusa League's first messengers. Late in the afternoon, we came to the spot where we'd been attacked by bandits. The caravan stopped for lunch, and Master Ariston lay on the grass for a nap. We were in no hurry. The Danaus was not expected to dock till late in the evening. Thrax pulled a small bundle out of his bag and thrust it into my hands. I bought you a little present. I opened the parcel with some excitement. Presents don't happen very often in my life. Thrax had bought me 4 sheets of thick papyrus and a new reed pen. You can use them to write your first story, said Thrax. Thank you, I said, putting them carefully in my tool bag. I shall treasure them dearly. We washed the lunch dishes in the stream, remembering the horrific attack when the town of Timon had died. I spotted something flashing in the water and picked it up. It was a ring, shaped like a snake biting on its own tail. Its eyes were 2 bright drops of lapis lazuli. Oh, look, someone must have dropped this in the stream. I offered it to Thrax on the palm of my hand. You take it. It will help buy your freedom. Thrax pushed my hand away gently. Thanks, but no. Whatever money I need, I will earn with my wits. I won't keep it either, I said. Whatever riches I earn, I shall do so by the power of my pen. But I know who can make good use of it. We hurried back to where we'd left our belongings, and Thrax lifted one of the doves out of the cage. Gently he tied the snake ring to its legs with a piece of string. Then he opened his hands, and the dove soared up into the reddening sky, the ring on its foot flashing in the afternoon sunlight. It made the bird look like a phoenix rising out of the darkening earth. "One day I will be as free as that bird," said Thrax. "And just as dazzling," I added. "I pray to the god that the day will come quickly." We both watched the dove flying back to Amos until it was no bigger than the evening star. Master Ariston woke up, and we continued to Cincray, and Captain Gorgos waiting for us on the Danaus. I thanked the gods for my good fortune as we sailed out of the harbor that night, the sky above us heavy with stars. Later, passing Salamina, I wondered what had happened to the angry sailor we had left in the harbor. He was to bring danger into our lives soon, but I didn't know that then. All I knew was that the god had blessed me with so much in the last few days, a breathtaking adventure, a daring new friend, and a new purpose in life. I couldn't wait to get back to Athens and to find a quiet corner in Master Lycos' house where I could set out my first new sheets of papyrus and start writing my first story. I already had a title for it: The Mark of the Cyclops.
I hope you've enjoyed this story.